And 1 year ago tomorrow, Superstorm Sandy barreled into the Northeast. It quickly became one of the deadliest and most destructive storms ever to strike the U.S. More than 200 people in New York City alone are still without homes. Among the hardest hit areas, Breezy Point, New York. Sandy triggered a massive fire that swept across the beach community. Terrell Brown is in Breezy Point. Terrell, good morning.
Nora, good morning to you. As you mentioned, this was the neighborhood that burned to the ground. There was nothing left here but charred rubble, in some cases, just the foundation of some homes. But now everything that you see here behind me is brand new. Some homeowners, at least those that can, are rebuilding, but others still don't have a home 12 months after the storm. Nearly a year ago, these were some of the first images of the storm's aftermath. Called a superstorm because it was no longer a hurricane when it made landfall. Sandy delivered a storm surge that plowed through towns. Floodwaters destroyed homes, and when that seawater hit electrical wires, fire laid entire neighborhoods to waste. The storm killed 147 people in the U.S. Some 650,000 homes were destroyed, and 8.5 million customers were without power. As for the total cost, the low-end estimate sits at $50 billion.
By and large, we were not prepared except for emergency measures, meaning there were evacuation plans in place.
Still, a year later, thousands struggle to rebuild, many in the exact same spot.
As you can see here, it's nice and thick.
Joe Courtney had no doubt he'd return to New York's Rockaway Beach after Sandy tore through his home.
If we were this height, prior to Sandy, our house wouldn't have been affected.
He's using the lessons he learned from the storm to build a newer, stronger house. Along with flood vents, it will sit 14 feet above sea level.
These are all different mitigating construction techniques that are going to make this, house stronger and more resistant to, God forbid, the next storm.
But research scientist Klaus Jacob says it doesn't matter how high or strong shore owners build. The only real protection is to retreat, moving away from a relentless, rising ocean.
We are pretty much as vulnerable today as we were a year ago.
Federal aid is still trickling in. New York will get a little bit more than $6 billion next year. And Senator Charles Schumer says more than $1 billion of that will go directly to homeowners. Charlie, Nora?
Terrell, thank you.